So just a brief discussion on how many sets you need to do of an exercise in order to make a muscle stronger. This is per session. So like say today is Tuesday, and it's time to exercise my quadriceps muscle. How many sets do I need to do, to get them stronger? So very briefly, that was the time when I asked myself that same question. So in order to find out, I completely searched the published strength training literature starting from the year 1960. I then sorted out just the randomized controlled trials, since these perform the highest form of proof in medicine that something is really effective, and laid them all out on my kitchen table. Now that's a good point because you may read review articles in the literature and they may say, oh, you need to do multiple sets, multiple sets. But if you really look at the studies that they use to support that answer, they haven't used randomized controlled trials. They may have used some randomized controlled trials and then other studies as well. Okay, so here again, this just looked at just the randomized controlled trials, which is the best of the best evidence. Okay, that's why you see conflicting results. The author of this book just went ahead and say, hey, look, let's just look at only the randomized controlled trials. We're not going to look at these other studies because they're not controlled and they're not randomized, so they really don't prove that much. Okay, so while getting to that point took me literally months and months of daily reading and hunting down articles, it was really the only way I could come up with an accurate evidence-based answer. The first conclusion I came to was it's quite possible for a person to get really stronger by doing any one of a wide variety of sets and reps combination. For instance, one study might show that one set of 8 to 12 could make a person stronger compared to a non-exercising control group. But then again, so could 4 sets of 13 to 15 reps in another study. Okay? Realizing this, I decided to change my strategy a bit and set my sights to find the most efficient number of sets and reps. In other words, how many sets and reps could produce the best strength gains with the least amount of effort? And so I had 2 issues to resolve. The first one was, are multiple sets better than doing one set? And how many reps would produce the best strength gains? So, anxious to get to the bottom of things, I returned once again to my pile of randomized controlled trials. This time, searching for more specific answers. Here's what I found as far as sets are concerned. There are many randomized controlled trials showing that just one set is just as good as doing 3 sets of an exercise. Esquidel 2007, Starkey 96, Reed 87, Stowers 83, Sylvester 81. And this has been shown to be true in people who have just started weight training as well as people who have been training for some time. Haas 2000. Wow, with a lot of patients either having limited time to exercise or just plain hating to exercise altogether, this was really good news. I can now tell them that based on strong evidence from randomized controlled trials, all they needed to do was 1 7 exercise to get stronger, which would get them every bit as strong as 3. Strong evidence. So here again, you can read review articles in the literature and they might recommend different, like doing multiple sets, but they haven't looked at just the randomized controlled trials. They've included other studies of lesser quality. So that's according to the research.